You are the men who gave them the power to destroy themselves. And the world is not prepared.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Crewman needs to know what's next.
2,
What's next?
1.
This last year has been absolutely crazy in the world of tech. In less than 12 months, we got dozens of brand new AI-powered tools that are absolute game changer. For example, we got ChatGPT, which can answer any questions that you have instantly and can also write entire essays for you. We also got Midjourney, which can generate any images that you can think of in any style instantly and infinitely. And we got other tools like Runway ML, where you can just write any sentences that you can think of and it's going to generate a video of that sentence. So you don't even need to learn how to use a camera or how to edit videos anymore. The AI does all of the job for you. If you're interested into learning more about these tools, you can watch my last YouTube video where I cover all of them and many other more as well. But in this video, I want to go a step beyond just talking about the tools, and I want to talk about how these are going to affect our society, and more specifically how they're going to affect our jobs. One of the main points that I made in my last video is the fact that as AI development gets better and better, the bar for doing hard things is becoming progressively lower. You've probably seen examples of people asking ChatGPT to generate some code. True that some people are now able to build entire applications without even knowing how to code themselves. But this is happening in many other fields beyond simply software engineering. And while this is exciting for many people, this is also causing a lot of anxiety for many other people as well, because they're all wondering what's going to happen with my job in the future. And they're right to be concerned, because a study by Oxford University anticipates that by 2034, which is 11 years from now, nearly 50% of all jobs are going to get disrupted by AI. So you might be wondering which job is the safest and which one is the most at risk. Well, this year, OpenAI, the company that made ChatGPT, made a study about exactly that. And they came up with a list of the jobs that are going to be the safest going forward and the jobs that are the most at risk. This is the list of the safest jobs. And as you can imagine, these are mostly manual jobs. So for example, masons, electricians, and people working in construction. On the other hand, the jobs that are the most at risk are mostly desk jobs, such as, for example, analysts, designers, and software engineers. And I don't know if you can see the trend that is happening with all of these jobs, but it's the fact that most of the jobs that are the safest are being done between 95% and 99% by men. And on the other hand, the jobs that are the most at risk are being done between 50% to 87% by women. So it's interesting and a little bit concerning to see that despite all of the efforts that we've made over the past decades to bridge the wealth gap between men and women, it looks like AI is likely to undermine all of that in the coming years. By the way, some of you might know that I used to work at Google in the AI department, and we used to have a lot of discussions like this about which one job is going to be the hardest to replace by AI. And ultimately, we all agreed on the same answer, which I'm going to tell you at the very end of this video. So make sure you watch up until the end so you know as well. Now, this is feeding into the broader trend that we're all already kind of aware of, that manual jobs and blue-collar jobs are going to be increasingly more in demand in the future. And this is going to be the case until Elon Musk arrives with his robots, because Elon Musk is making robots. You've probably seen examples of the Boston Dynamics robots, which is working on a construction site and can do a lot of very highly specialized tasks. While this is more of an advanced robot that is not likely to be in our day-to-day life, on the other hand, Elon Musk is making robots that are meant to live and work with all of us. What Elon Musk wants to do with these robots is the same thing that Henry Ford did back in the days with the car, which was to make the car universally accessible to everyone in the US at a fair price thanks to mass production. So Elon Musk is going to mass produce these robots, and it's likely that within a few years we're all going to be able to buy a robot like this that will be able to help us with the laundry and the dishes at home, and also help us in our workplace for about $20,000. It looks like AI is going to be taking over both our desk jobs and also our manual hands-on jobs as well. So this doesn't bode well for the future future of the workplace. But at the same time that we're worrying about this, just recently in France there was a massive protest because they were trying to raise the age of retirement from 62 to 64. So I think as a society, we're a little bit confused about whether we like to work or not. So here's how I think about this. Back in the days, there used to be a job called elevator operator. This was back before the elevators were smart enough to decide on their own at which floor to go in which order. So there was literally someone standing in the elevator and driving it up and down all day long. Now, obviously this job doesn't exist anymore, but if your friend was telling you that what he wants to do in the future for his career is to become an elevator operator, you will tell him that this is completely dumb because life is way too short and precious to waste it doing something that doesn't need to be done anymore because it's been automated by computers, such as, for example, elevator operator. So I think that the same is going to happen with all of the jobs that are eventually going to be replaced by AI. Let me tell you, the minute that the code starts to write itself and that the trucks start driving themselves, these jobs are going to become very uncool very fast. Fundamentally, work is about solving problems. And if as a society we can find new ways to solve work in a faster and cheaper way, I think it's always good for society. Now the problem is that if people no longer work, they don't have money and then the whole economy is going to crash. A lot of people will tell you that the solution for this is to establish a wealth tax or to tax the big tech companies that are making those AIs and redistribute that money to everybody else whose jobs were affected. So basically, even if you don't have a job anymore, you will get a check from the government every single month that will at least make sure that you are able to survive. Now, while this could be a good idea, unfortunately, it's not going to be a perfect solution for the problem because ultimately, work is also about so much more than just money. A lot of people find a lot of benefits in their jobs, such as, for example, they find a lot of satisfaction and pride in their responsibilities and their achievements. It's also very good for personal development because this is where you learn a lot of social and technical skills as well. And it's great for socialization because you meet a lot of people and make a lot of friends at your workplace. So if we were to have a society where most people don't work anymore, we will have a lot of very miserable people. So here's what I'm thinking instead. If it's true that at some point in the future, over half of the jobs are going to be replaced by AI, why don't we just all decide to work 50% less? I'm talking about capping the maximum work week to 20 hours for everyone in society. I think as a society, we're about to hit a crossroad where on the one hand, we could have this utopian society where everybody just works 20 hours per week and everyone makes the same money because everyone is just as productive because they're all able to do twice as much work in the same amount of time thanks to AI. Or we could have option 2 where we stick with the system and we all keep working 40 hours a week and 50% of the people lose their jobs and the CEOs make twice as much money because they only need to hire half of the people and we end up having this massive economic crash. I wanted to make this video because I want everyone to be aware that these are two possible ways that society could turn out in the future, and I can tell for a fact that everybody watching this video wants to have option 1, but unfortunately I think we're going full speed toward option 2 and that is extremely sad. I want everybody to be aware of this, I want this to become a subject of discussion, and I want that at the moment that AI starts taking a lot of jobs away, we all start pressurizing the government so that we can reduce the maximum work week for everyone so we can have more people keeping their jobs and we can have this ideal society where everybody gets to enjoy their lives a lot more. Oh, and finally, about the one safest job that is going to be the hardest to replace by AI, well, it is, drumroll, hairdresser. So hairdresser is a manual job. It's going to need robots in order to be replaced, but it requires a lot of very fine and small movements, which is going to be very, very hard to replicate with robots. So now you know. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe to my channel because I will be making more videos like this in the future. And I also recommend that you follow me on social media at tony.obe, where I make a lot more content like this about design, AI, and technology in general. So once again, thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next video. Ciao!